Friday Night Gamble. I'm Matt Walsh, and this is my main man, the Hitman.
Hey.
Mr. Raymond Brooks. We're glad to have y'all tune in tonight. We're going to try to do a little something different. We're going to have a variety show. We're going to play a little bit, like we always do. And because we've missed you, I know that you've probably missed us too. But we're going to do some other stuff too. This is not going to be your average live stream. You know what I'm saying? Pay no mind to number 3 back there. We also got Chad back there in the corner as well. But folks, we'll just tell you a little bit about the show. The show's about being original. It's about having original music, original personalities, just doing something different. But it's also about having a good time and feeling like we're in your living room. And we're usually playing at you from a stage, but tonight we're just going to be hanging out. Now, the Hitman is my musical guest tonight, but this kind of thing, when I started putting everything together, I thought, you know, me and Ray have not played a gig together in over a month. Yeah. So why would we not just get together every Friday and do this? So Ray is my musical host tonight, but this is also his show as well, because we morphed this into Ray being the what?
Hitman.
And the co-host.
Yeah.
Raymond will be here with me every week, folks, and so we will we'll have a good time. But before we go any further, we talked about having a good time and feeling like we're hanging out with you. So what we're going to do on this show, we're going to party as well. Now, our friends at Four Saints Brewery in Asheboro, North Carolina, I'm sure you saw them down there playing before. Yeah, man. And they got a hold of my post about this show and about being original. And the motto of the show is "Don't be fooled by imitators." We don't want anybody catching on the bandwagon. And so when I said something about that in my Facebook post about bandwagon, I got sent this bandwagon IPA, and I had one earlier. This stuff arrived UPS yesterday, and I had one earlier today, and they're really good. So let's do it. All right, we're gonna do a team drink. I hope you got a drink out there, or you're a couple drinks in, you're having a good time. It's Friday night. This is a weird damn time, but we're gonna do our best to, well, let's just do a team drink.
Let's drink.
Before we go any further, we're here as musicians first, so let's play a song. Do a song called "Drive Me Away," Ray. Will it sound good to you? It's giving me a chance to play acoustic too, and a chance for Ray to do some different stuff. Let's go and strip it down, do the snare with some brushes here. Go something like this. Try to give you mine, never that's putting it through. Try a lot of good things, get wrong with you. Tell me now, little girl, where to this far? Next thing I know, rocking down the stuff, ain't nothing I'm to do. Happy day, rock me away. finished playing with you, brother. Happy day. First battle of the day. Happy girl. Happy day. First battle of the day. Jab. Folks, that feels good to play together again, man. Well, we said that Raymond's going to be our musical guest tonight, and before we go any further, I think we'll do a musical interview. We're going to have some guests every week here, a lot of notable musicians, folks that you may be really familiar with, maybe you may not be familiar with. But anyway, Raymond is my musical guest and my co-host. But me and Raymond have been running up the road how many years now?
I say 4.
4 years? Yeah, just
4
about.
years, yeah.
And I cannot say enough great things about Raymond. He is my favorite drummer. He is probably one of my favorite drummers I've ever played with. And just beyond that, a professional person. I mean, he anything you could want out of a person that you would hire to play music with you, this guy delivers. He's always at my house, usually 10 minutes before we're supposed to leave. He's never been late. He's never, I don't think he's ever even missed a note. So I'm going to put him on the spot and ask him some questions here tonight. And first question that I guess we have to dive into is, how long have you been playing?
Wow, over 30 years. No, 40 years. Actually.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what got you started?
Well, my parents bought me a toy drum set. I think I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I ended up breaking it. But I just like the visual, just how it looked.
Yeah.
Versus, learning how to play. So just because I know how it looks, I like how it looked, I had to learn how to play it.
Yeah.
I started band class in 5th grade. And I carried that 5th grade all the way to senior in high school, in a marching band, and just playing out.
What'd you play in marching band?
I played cymbals, bass drum number 1.
I would never expected cymbals. That's why I thought you would have been like snare or something.
Oh,
like that.
bass drum number 1,
Yeah.
tritons, and snare.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, it was coming. All right. Well, what were your goals starting out?
Well,
Were you just doing it for just because extracurricular, or
coming
in high school?
some musical family.
Or what did you expect when you were in high school to come from it? What was your goal there?
I just had fun playing.
Yeah, it was an outlet, a way to get up and play. Yeah.
Plus, my best friend was also a drummer, and we were there together from middle school all the way to high school.
Yeah.
And even now.
Yeah.
So.
And what's his name?
Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis.
Brother
Yeah,
Curtis
Curtis.
Kenny.
Curtis Kenny.
Big brother.
Shout out to Curtis if you're out there, man. Yeah, Curtis is a cool
and
cat.
Kyle Reeves. Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle too, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, been to our gigs many a times.
Yeah, we did all the marching band.
So what did you not want to do as a drummer?
I don't want to be the best drummer. I don't want to be famous. I
Yeah.
just want to have fun
Yeah,
doing
you
what I
seem
like
like
to
that.
do.
When you come to when Raymond comes to the gig, man, it's like, it's nothing but just, he's ready to let loose, He is ready to let loose from
I
the
show
week.
out. I show out.
And
But
he
yeah.
shows, but he's,
Because I never look at it as trying to be, well, in marching band, we had to compete against other marching bands around the state.
yeah.
But for this here, I just like to play, learn what I can,
Yeah.
teach.
Yeah, and yeah, he does teach too. So if you're looking to learn, I can't recommend a better person. And I know I maybe sound like I'm biased because he's my drummer, but really, I mean, if you've seen Raymond play, man, you've seen him right here just tonight. You've seen him, but if you've seen him in action, I mean, he's amazing musician.
I'm okay.
Amazing musician. Very modest, but amazing. So what are your pet peeves as a musician?
Professionalism, timing, as a drummer, the drum set, you got to be there at least an hour and a half to set up.
Yeah,
and
makes sense, man.
even when you set up and tune your drums, just to sit down and just wait until it's ready to play. But
Yeah.
for drummers, for a musician to be professional, be on time. During the breaks, hey, you go out and socialize with other folks.
Yeah.
Don't act crazy.
That's good. That's good advice for young cats tuning in. I mean, if you can get to a venue, usually an hour and a half is a good way to gauge your time. I think that's usually what we do. And
I love to play the flute though. Just come in with just one. I don't have to set up anything. Just have my.
Or be a singer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can just absorb the atmosphere you're gonna play in. I mean, no matter how many times I've played music in front of people, still when I go to a new place, it's like if I just go there and get off the road and start playing, or I have 30 minutes to set up, and then you have to have that time to absorb the atmosphere and kind of just figure out where you are. It's just like going to a new school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, favorite band or musician right now?
Well, I like everybody, but I was a big fan. I still am a big fan of Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah, man.
Groups I like Chicago.
Prince. They wanted to produce his first album.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Which album?
He turned them down.
No.
Yeah, because he produced it himself. The first album. His first
Oh.
album. Yeah, they wanted him to produce it. I mean, they wanted to produce his album, and he said no. He said, I'm playing all the instruments and I'm gonna do it myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a bad man. He's a bad man.
We can go on and on about Prince and our love for Prince. That's for sure. All right, so 3 drummers that influenced you the most.
Art Blakey.
Yeah.
Buddy Rich. And I have a favorite pocket drummer, Rodney Holmes.
Okay.
He's busy, but
Who's Rodney
nice
Holmes?
pocket.
Who's that?
He's a cat from New York. He plays with other fusion jazz groups.
Okay, so there's some fusion jazz stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not too hip. You'll have to turn me on to some of that stuff at some point, man. But all right, so if you weren't a drummer, what instrument would you like to play, or what would you envision?
Well,
yourself?
as I told you, I started out in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I wanted to play the trumpet because I was a big Miles Davis fans of Phoenix Horns, or Earth, Wind and Fire, and Chicago's Horns. But all the trumpets were filled up.
Yeah.
She said, "Well, why don't you try the drums?" I said, "Okay, let's do it."
So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're shooting to this question actually,
Yeah.
and I did not ask Ray this beforehand, folks. He has not even seen this list.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even know that question was coming, but it was basically geared towards you in a way, I guess, because you were thinking about being a horn player.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You never told me
I
that.
always wanted to do like twirl the trumpet, and do all the tricks.
I could see that. All right, I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Uh-oh.
Well, actually, I'm gonna ask you one more question. I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best drummer you know that's not really famous or well known, or
Well, all the
I mean,
drummers,
most drummers aren't really well known, by the general public.
there are a lot of people. I would say Cody Lyles. He's local here in Carolina. Justin Johnson, phenomenal drummers. J-Rod Sullivan. He's a drummer for a fusion group called Four Corners.
Yeah.
It's bad drummer.
Cool.
I didn't know the rhythms that they play. I didn't know if you can, put them to play it. It's like, wow, I didn't know. I didn't even think about playing a rhythm the way they do.
Right.
So they're amazing.
Yeah. All right. So this is a question that everyone's gonna get asked when they come on this show, if they're a guest.
Okay.
All right. There's 3 participants here. If you could start a band, we'll start out like this. You'll have to pick one of these 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to start a band, you were forced to start a band
Mm-hmm.
with either you got the choice between Buddy Hardwood,
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy, or number 3 back here. Who would you pick? That's
Number 3.
stop. Number 3.
Yeah.
All right. So what if you could pick? Stop. Hey, man, I'm not gonna. We're doing a broadcast here. chill out, man. We were gonna give him a bandwagon, but just we've had a lot. Whenever you're finished, all right? All right. He's pretty happy, I guess, that he got elected. So anyway, if you had to center a band around Roadie Werewolf number 3 and pick famous musicians to be in this band, either living or deceased, who would you pick? Who would be the drummer?
I would say Rodney Holmes.
All right. Who would be the bass player?
See who can play with Rodney. Let's say Victor Wooten.
All right. Who would be the guitarist? This would be interesting.
Let's say I don't think Santana. I love Santana.
I could see Santana up there.
Oh, yeah.
I totally could see that. And then
Roy agrees too.
yeah. Who would be on keys?
Herbie Hancock.
Okay. And Rhodey's gonna be singing. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Stage presence.
Well, speaking of singing, folks, let's do another team drink here with the bandwagon that our friends at Four Saints Brewery so kindly sent us. They're actually supporting the team drink segment here for the next 2 weeks. So here's to you, my friend. And let's cut into another song.
What you gonna do?
Let's blues it out a little bit for our blues fans out there. Do this one called My Last Heavy Load of Mine. I'm not the guy most people think I am. My only crime is doing the best I can. That ain't what you thought I was. And no need you make the fuss. Been about my time. Got my right about my side. Sometimes my blood runs cold. Says I'm not lasting long. Some people, they just want your dreams. Ain't nothing they say is what it seems. Open your back, baby, open your eyes. It's hard to be nice when I try. I've been about my time. Got my right about my side. Sometimes my blood runs cold. Says I'm not lasting long. Ha! I've been biding my time. Yeah, I'm feeling just fine. Sometimes my blood runs cold. Says I'm not lasting long. I've been biding my time. Yeah, I'm feeling just fine. Sometimes my blood runs cold. Says my last heaven knows. All right. How about another team drink?
Yeah.
smooth, man. I dig it. I dig it. All right, well, folks, speaking of drinking, I hope you're drinking at home. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. As promised, every week we're going to give away some free stuff here, whether it be albums, beer, whatever. Tonight it happens to be beer. And it's coming from our friends in Statesville, North Carolina, my hometown, at Red Buffalo Brewing. And they're giving away a $20 gift certificate to anyone who can guess how many damn picks are in this jar. If you can guess, or whoever comes the closest.
Let me see.
Yeah, check it out. What do you think?
I can barely see. I can't tell.
All right, Ray had a couple bandwagons before this, but what do you think?
Oh, man, I can't see.
Well, anyway, whoever comes closest to guessing how many picks are in this jar, or if you guess it correctly, you will receive a $20 gift certificate to Red Buffalo Brewing to get as much beer or whatever you want to get they got down there. Wine, I think they got wine. I don't know, whatever. Hell, who knows what they got. But anyway, whatever they got,
You got it.
Whatever they got, you can get at $20 worth of it. All right? So you comment here below the live stream, your guess, how many picks are in this damn jar. And, yeah, Ray, give us a monitor there. We'll probably need to get a little monitoring going on. We haven't been able to see what you're saying so far, if you are saying anything. Feel free to comment, song request, whatever. But anyway, if you can come close to guessing how many picks are in this jar, or guessing the exact amount in the comments, we will contact you if you're the winner, and we'll let you know that you how to go about going and getting your gift certificate. So anyway, uh-oh, playback.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ray,
What you got?
every week we're going to do an album spotlight. This week, the spotlight is by a man named Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers, The Natural Boogie. I'm pretty sure this is the first album that came out on the Alligator label. Seems like it might have been a live album too. But we're going to put this thing on, and if you haven't heard who Hound Dog Taylor is, I suggest you go to YouTube and check him out. And you know, Ray, ever since I became a musician, I've used it for a lot of things, but one thing I've used it for in particular, and somebody commented on this, a friend of mine, Wendy, who comes out to see us at Bourbon Street all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They said, why did you move away from Wendy when she was trying to dance with you? Well, I'm not a dancer, you know what I'm saying? But for years, I've kind of used that musician thing. Well, I play music. I don't dance. All right, well, tonight we're going to dance.
What?
Yeah, we're going to dance.
Okay.
I've seen you dance. I mean, I've seen you dance at the barbecue festival and all this stuff. So I'm going to cue up the record player here.
It's old school.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, it's old school, but it's kind of new technology too. And we're going to boogie, folks. Let's turn this damn thing all the way up.
Somebody drinking on it.
Yeah, let's do the drink too. Hound Dog Taylor, Bandwagon, the Friday Night Gamble. Do not be fooled by originators. Right here, baby. We're doing it. Come on, honey. How's my hair look, man? Ray, I don't dance. You know this, right?
You dancing now?
I'm dancing now, man. Shit, I got it.
What's your dance for Rody?
Yeah. It's like Steve Martin in a jerk. Alright. Man.
I was on the right speed.
Shit, I'm winded, man. It's like the most shit I've done in like a month and a half.
Come on,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
You're only 21.
Huh?
You're only 21.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, sheesh. Hope y'all had a good time with that. We did. Let's do another song.
What you want to do?
Not questions and accusations.
Okay, I'm gonna get.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Let's do a cover. We're gonna do an old cover here. We're gonna do this old Billy Boy Arnold. Blind Boy Arnold.
You're winded, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't dance, man. We're gonna do this old Billy Boy Arnold song called "I Wish You Would." And the only reason I think we're gonna do it is because Ray bought his djembe, and this song is just the way we used to play it live.
Yeah.
We used to.
Tom action.
Yeah, Tom's. But yeah, so this song's kind of geared the way we play it. We play it different than the original, but it's the way we play it is geared for this drum. So here we go.
It's your first time hearing me play the djembe, right?
Yeah. No, I take that back. Because at Red Buffalo, you know.
That's right.
The drum off there, yeah. With Irie, if you folks know who Irie is in Statesville. I wish you would. Yes, you would. Well, next segment we got here, it's called Stories from the Road. Yeah, it's a little, looks like we're a little sweaty up here. It is, because we're up in the attic, folks. And the funny thing is about this, Ray, I just thought about, you know, when we first met 4 years ago, and we came up in this attic to play, you know, and we were testing out the songs for Life After Rock and Roll.
And my audition.
Yeah, and your audition, which you passed in like 20 minutes.
All right.
15, probably, give or take. But anyway.
14 and 59 seconds.
That's right. But anyway, it's crazy to be out there doing this. You know, I mean, did you ever think that we would be doing a show like this?
Man, I just play. This is new to me. This is all new to me. So
yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, when we played up here 4 years ago, and we're sweating our butts off because we didn't have air and the little bit of air stuff that's up here now.
it was springtime. Well, it was hot.
It was like, it was like around May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was about this time actually.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, to think that we would be revamping and trying to morph what we do to this. But we're going to make it work. And we're going to be here every Friday night. So, let's talk about stories from the road, man. Got any?
I got to think about it. You go first.
I'll go first. All right. So I knew this guy back in Wichita, Kansas days. I lived in Wichita. I made a horrible mistake, folks. Don't ever move to... listen, and no offense to people. Probably shouldn't say this like the way I'm saying it, but I believe it, so I'm going to say it, okay? So, no offense to people who live in the Midwest, but I made the horrible mistake moving to Wichita, Kansas. And I lived there for a couple of years, and about 5 or 6 years. And I had a band there and everything, but I had this guy that would sub for the bass player every now and then. If the bass player would lead, this guy named Keith Powell. Man, he was a character, and just a total alcoholic. But I mean, when he'd show up to the gig, he could play. I mean, he could drink, folks. He could drink like a pint of beer between songs, and was a killer bass player. He sounded like, if anybody's familiar with like the early T-Bird stuff, he sounded like Keith Ferguson. He played kind of like that in a way. But Keith Powell, man, what a character. So we were going to Oklahoma to do a gig one time, and he used to carry this cooler of beer with him. And we got pulled over by the Highway Patrol in Oklahoma. Narrowly missed getting the car searched for, you know, and them finding his beer and his open containers. I mean, this guy was like, kind of like Buddy Hardwood's cousin, basically. You know, that's kind of like what we're talking about as far as alcoholism. Great bass player. Fantastic guy, too. Funny as hell. I don't even know what happened to this guy. Okay, like so many of these on-the-road stories. But anyway, so I told him after we got pulled and got through that little escapade, I said, look, no more beer on the road, man. No more coolers of beer. No more empty containers of beer in the van. You gotta nix that. You're done. You know.
Right.
All right. So we go to Lawrence, Kansas, which is right outside of Missouri, around Kansas City, Missouri, right outside of there. And he came out, and Keith was funny, man. He would come out to the van and have a bass amp, like an Ampeg bass cabinet, and just like a damn. A bass without even a case. He just carried the bass around, and with a cord wrapped around it for the input jack, you know. And so he came out with his cord and everything. Didn't see the cooler. Great, you know. And he was like really quiet on the way to the gig. We get to the gig, everything was fine until about like 6 or 7 songs in, and things just start going way down.
What happened?
I don't know, but by the end of the gig, it was like a one set thing where we played like an hour and 15 minutes, like a 75-minute set. And so by the end of the set, this guy Keith is like doing the monkey dance on stage. Like, I mean, he's doing like he looked like me dancing. Just I mean, he was like literally like playing the bass, folks, like this. I mean, he's just like, and I'm missing stuff, and I'm just like, what's going on? Because, you know, this guy never, you know, he drinks and he's fine, you know. I mean, I'd seen he had some, like, and that was what was really confusing about the whole thing, is that he had like maybe 4 or 5 draft beers throughout the set or whatever, the night.
And he's acting like that.
So we get, he's acting just clowning, straight up clowning, you know. And you know, you don't want that on stage. So I was furious, man. Like we get back to the van after we packed everything up and everything, and I'm like, man, well, what the hell was that? And he looks around and he says, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." And like the drummer that was with us, man, he was like cracking up, man. And we carried on this joke for a long time. Like anytime anything happened, because the drummer stuck around for a while, and at the time, and if anything happened at all, it was always like, "It's your fault. You know, it's your fault." But anyway, I said, "What do you mean? It's my fault?" He said, "You wouldn't let me take alcohol. You wouldn't let me take beer, or a cooler of beer." I said, "Yeah. So what's the big deal?" He said, "So I took a fifth of wild turkey."
Oh my God.
And yeah, he like finished a fifth of wild turkey in the back seat of the van. That's why he was so quiet. So that's my on the road story for this week, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Be careful, young musicians, about the drinking restriction rules you make for your musicians. Because make sure you are thorough with them. And you think them through, because you might end up having your bass player doing the monkey dance too.
That was a story.
That was a story.
I may have a story next week.
You got one next week?
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, we're getting to the end of our program for this week. We appreciate you tuning in. Ray will be here next week.
Looking forward to it.
And I think our musical guest next week will be Aaron Gabriel. So if you're out there, Aaron, he doesn't know that yet. We've talked to him, but you've been selected to be the next guest on the Friday Night Gamble. Well, I think we're going to do a jazz number. You're a jazz man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny, when I first met Ray, the only thing I knew about Ray is that through a mutual friend, is that
Buddha.
You may know him as Terry Quist. You may know him as Buddha. You may know him as Jason. He goes by a lot of names, all right? But anyway, when I first met Ray, I knew he was a jazz drummer. I contacted him, and I said, contacted Terry Quist, and said, you know, I'm thinking about getting Ray to play, you know, or auditioning him. And but does he play anything besides jazz? And it was like, oh yeah, he does everything. So, but we're going to stick to a jazz tune, and I think this is a good tune to play because it kind of sums up. I know it's not written about these times, but it kind of sums up these times, and it's kind of one out of the ordinary for us and out of our what we would normally play. But let's play "Don't Get Around Much Anymore" because we really don't get around much anymore, do we?
Let's do it.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here next Friday. You want to come here, Show Bud? Hey, tell him what's going on. Folks, it's Show Bud. He's been dying to let y'all see a little piece of him. He's been dying to get in the action. Be here next week for the Friday Night Gamble. Me and the Hitman will be right here. Y'all stay well. Be good. Check it out.